I went flying in the air, and I swear to God, I felt hands like I was like in the air. I would have landed like on top of our garage, and I felt hands. They like flipped me, and I landed like it was like a scene from Bionic Woman or Wonder Woman.
Hello and welcome to another Cosmic Chats. We have the amazing Sammy Larson, and Pete in the background. You are going to be blown away by this fabulous performer, because she talks about how she was a real life Wonder Woman as a kid, would jump off buildings and not get hurt. She could also see auras, and we're going to find out how did she cope with that, and how do I get my Wonder Woman on? So how would you describe the taste of a banana to someone who's never eaten one?
I would describe the taste of banana as very bland, mild, consistent, sweet. I eat bananas for everything. So I would tell them the taste is great, but I've been eating them since I was like 1 because they prevent cramps.
Oh,
and the taste is sweet. Yeah, the taste is sweet. Like I just baked a cake yesterday, a German chocolate cake, and I threw in a banana. Just because I use them all the time to make things moist, and I like the hint of banana. I love bananas. So I would tell them, man, you got to be addicted to bananas like me because they're good. I love bananas. All kinds of bananas.
And how about the little one right there? Do they like bananas?
They're in all his baked goods. I home bake him treats, and I put bananas in constantly. I use a peanut butter banana. Sometimes I'll give him bacon. I don't like to eat bacon, but I'll do a peanut butter banana bacon Elvis treat for him. He loves it. But a lot of bananas. I give him a lot of bananas.
What's an Elvis treat?
It's this cookie I created with peanut butter, banana, bacon, because Elvis used to love those sandwiches. Like he used to fry banana, peanut butter, and bacon. Everything's good for you except the bacon. So I made a treat for the dog, for Pete. It was like the first treat I created, and I called them Elvis Bites, and I put the CBD on it because he's on CBD because he has epilepsy.
Wow. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your first existential life crisis as a child?
I would say from when I can remember being in a crib that I wanted to go back to God since I was like out of my mother's womb. I was like, what am I doing here? The crisis that I put it together was a lady that I had like adopted as my grandma. She was like a neighbor. And we used to walk to the post office every day, like 4 years old, 5 years old. And I think when I was 6, she died. And I was like, oh man. So it made me start thinking about, why we're here and how she was here and then she was gone. And I remember I made a beautiful, what I thought was beautiful, a beautiful picture of a dolphin, like kind of going into heaven, but kind of flying like a dolphin with wings. And, I was telling my parents, like she went back to heaven. Like I was telling them she went back to heaven, like a dolphin and the wings. And so that's, I think I don't know if it was a crisis, but I was sad because she left. So I guess that was the crisis part, but I kind of got it. And I was super young.
So this was probably the second one. The first one was you were in a crib and wanted to get back.
Yeah, actually, you're right. Correct. I didn't think of it that way. But yes, I was like, and I used to constantly, my parents said I would bust out of the cribs. Like I would break them. I was a strong baby. Yeah, I was like, get me out of here.
Whoa. And did you
yeah, it's hilarious.
Any point actually get out?
Yeah, they said I used to break them all the time.
And where would you go though?
They had to put up, I'm calling them doggy doors because they have them around my house, but they were the kid doors, I would just make it to like the edge of the stairs and yeah.
And you had no recollection of where you were wanting to go?
No, just out, and then I remember it was a 2-story. I grew up in a 2-story in New Jersey. They used to call them two families would live in a house and it was split in the middle. I don't know if you had that in England, but I forget the name, but anyway, so it was upstairs, downstairs. So I spent most of my time downstairs, and there was that was a crib, but it was like the square thing it was like mesh, and then you were like in it. That's a crib too, I guess. But it was kind of like, your parents would put you there when you were like a toddler. I remember being in those things, destroying them just to get out. Yeah. I wasn't sure where, but I remember
So
distinctly.
you remember the urge behind it, the emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's deep on a cellular level, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And can you recall now any other time where you have that deep, deep urge that you just, you want to get out?
I think when I used to swing, we had like swings in the backyard or swings. I would go so far up because I wanted to see if it would like take, because I didn't get it. I guess I was trying to like go into orbit, like when you, like I would swing so high. I remember my parents like, stop, you're going to fly off, and I did. One time I flew off. Like I went flying in the air and I swear to God, I felt hands. Like I was like in the air. I would have landed like on top of our garage and I felt hands. They like flipped me and I landed like, it was like a scene from Bionic Woman or Wonder Woman. That's what was popular then. Yeah, it was like hands.
So you felt something supporting you and putting you
Yeah,
back
like
on
a
the earth.
angel hand, whatever. They flipped me and I landed, boom. So then I had this thing. I always tried to hurt myself because I felt like someone would always protect me. No matter what I did, I could never get hurt. I used to test it all the time because I was like, am I hallucinating? But no.
Okay. So tell me about another time that you tested it and you were supported.
So we had a garage. The garage was, I don't know, like 20 feet high. It was like a garage, car garage. And I used a ladder and got up on the garage and it was friggin' high. And I jumped off and the same, I landed like, boom, like fine.
Did you feel hands again guiding you?
No, I didn't feel hands, but I just landed like, poof. It was
like a cat. You were fine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And my parents were like always tripping, like, what are you trying to do? Yeah. I was testing it.
Whoa. And you were how old off the garage?
That was like 7 maybe.
I was 7.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you do it again as a kid or teenager?
Oh, I used to do it all the time. So I remember like I would run. I'd go out in the street, like on the sidewalk. It was a small town. And we used to have those roller skates that were metal. They used to clip on your shoes. This is old school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember going down the block like at full speed because I would try to jump and land on my knees because I wanted to see what it would be like to have like a bloody knees, So I kept trying to do it and it didn't work. But then I succeeded in the bloody knees. But I was like happy about it. I know, it's ridiculous. I was like, I thought the scab was so cool. Like I succeeded.
Well, you succeeded in actually showing that you're human, right? Like you weren't as like everyone else landing safely. And then did that stop you from continuing to do this?
I think I kind of eased up on it, but I always felt like I had special powers, but I didn't go out of my way to try to do that after the knees. I was like, yeah, I get it. I bleed.
Okay. Did you have another experience where you felt the hands?
Yeah, I had one in college when I hated in college we had to have what are those things where you sleep like one person's on the bottom, then you got to go up.
Beds?
Yeah, bunk beds. Oh, I hated those. So anyway, I had the top bunk bed, which I despised. And I always felt like I was going to roll off. I was like, this is such a dumb idea. But anyway, I was going to roll off and I felt the hands. Yeah, the hands kept me on the bunk bed.
Whoa. And then moving from there, have you felt it since?
I can't recall, but possibly, but I can't recall anything specific.
And there was never, do you find it's morphed now to more of your intuition of not to go somewhere or do something than the physical hands?
I think so. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as you've matured, this sort of guidance, you feel it more with your inner voice.
Yes. That's a perfect way to put it. Mm-hmm.
And are you able to give an example that you use this?
Sure. So I was living in New York. This was the 90s. There was this dude called the Upper East Side Rapist who was all over the news. A famous rapist, so to say. And I lived on the Upper East Side. So anyway, we used to have these street fairs, like you can walk out of the house with like a joint, a beer, whatever. It's like awesome. Totally different world, different time. 90s. And anyway, I went out of my apartment And this guy approached me, good looking young guy, young fella. And he was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And are you a model? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I'm a model, actor, blah. And he said the strangest thing. He was like, oh, okay. Can I come in and get some headshots? I'm like, come in. He's like, yeah, I just saw you come out of that apartment. And I was like, that's what's so bizarre. And like, it was telling, the inner voice, I said, just give me your card. It's fine. I'll send you something. And he goes, no, I'm such a little guy. You could like, I was like, he was like small fella. He was small. And he's like, you could take me. You're like a tough New York woman. And I said, not if you have a gun in your pocket. And I saw his face went white. His face like turned like pale white. And he started walking backward and he like ran away. And then I told the cops and I said, I think that might've been like the Upper East Side rapist, and they said, describe him. And I went down and they did a sketch and it was the dude. So I saw the gun in his, like I saw it, like I felt it, because he was a good looking guy. This was a good looking little fella.
So did you actually have a vision of the gun? Or
it was all of it. It was intuition and a vision, but a light vision. It wasn't like blaring like gun. It was like something was telling me that. And then I kind of saw it after. Whoa. It was the intuition was first. And then the vision was like after,
Right. Because one of the benefits that happen when people learn meditation, and there's all kinds of meditations. The word is so vague. It's sort of like a doctor saying to you, just exercise and come back. Well, right. What are you talking about? Are you talking about walking a block on a, frappuccino? Are you talking about running a marathon? It's so far-fetched, but it's always put under one ridiculous idea.
Right.
But the practice that we propagate to help people and go into underrepresented groups. And if you're curious about what it is, there's a free ebook that we have right now. If you have Amazon Prime, it's the only one. Thank you. It's the only one globally right now that's published with true stories from people who learned the practice and it changed their lives.
Oh, that's amazing.
Thank you. The story is only about a page each, but it's in their own words. It hasn't been edited because we wanted their true voice to come through.
I do have Amazon Prime. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you.
I'm addicted to Amazon Prime.
Well, now there's no excuse, and it's such an easy, quick read, and any pennies go towards the nonprofit. But the idea being is that when we get a lot of the stress out, we all have these senses. We all have it, but we have it blocked with predominantly stress, right? And stress, another big umbrella, right? Huge umbrella. Stress comes down the DNA. Right. In utero, first 5 years. And so often when people learn meditation to get unstressed, they find that they have these more intuitions, right? And so some people have a huge accessibility to it already. But it can be anything from get out of here. And sometimes it can be conscious, like yours was, or even unconsciously, like, why did I say the thing about a gun? I don't know why I said that. And it was the right thing. But the fact that his face went white, so with that sketch, did that make a difference in any apprehension or the investigation?
Yeah, they got him. It wasn't just from Samantha Larson, but it was other sketches. And and what he did, the craziest thing was, he used the gun. Like he overtook these women because he was a small guy with the gun, and he would get them in and then like rape them and sodomize them and just with the gun. So like I thought, because a lot of people I think they don't go on their instincts,
Right. And that can also be fight or flight response kicking in and freezing, right? If there's prior trauma, not knowing what to do and listen. Well, that's a remarkable example of your intuition coming in. Now, as you've matured, have you found that it has integrated more into your everyday life and you simply follow that?
Definitely. I think so. Yes, absolutely.
And can you give a beautiful example?
Well, I mean, there's things like when people hop in my car, I always say, oh, I'm not driving, Jesus is driving. Jesus sounds kind of cheeky, but basically like, I always feel, protected. And I always feel like in my everyday life, like, walking from say a comedy show or walking from an art show or walking from whatever at night, I'm out and about all the time at night. And like, I have girlfriends that won't even leave their house because they're petrified because of the state of affairs on the planet and in Los Angeles and everything. No, I'm never afraid. I am never afraid. So I think that's integrated within myself. You know, I'm only 100 pounds, but am I afraid? No, not whatsoever. And I think it's the inner voice. And I think I'm also very aware because I'm present. Most people aren't present. They're somewhere else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, people pay a lot of money to go to drama schools to basically learn how to be present.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. In that moment, be present. Do you find at any times that the intuition is so strong, it's hard for you to be in a mundane activity?
You know, mundane, again, that's like a net that you would say, you know what I mean? It's encompassing a lot. I mean, I don't know what
You're right.
I don't know what is mundane. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I don't really find too many things mundane because you can have fun doing anything, you know. I don't love laundry. I do not love laundry. I guess that would be mundane. It's not my favorite thing. The only time of my life where I had to do my own laundry, I hate it. Sometimes my husband will do it, but yeah. So I guess that's a pain in the ass, especially since our washer and dryer, like it's one of these washers that it's like on the brink of disaster. And half the time everything comes out sopping wet. So then I have to dry the clothes for like hours, like cook them. Yeah. So I guess that's my least favorite laundry.
Do you have any other family members who have the same
all of them
perception? Oh,
both my parents. I'm an only child, so both my parents have it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it wasn't something considered an anomaly that you were experiencing?
Not really. No. Mm-mm.
Did you find that it was nurtured?
I mean, I used to see auras also, and that I remember my dad being like, "Don't be telling everyone because they're gonna think you're cuckoo. They're gonna think you're crazy." When I was really young, like I would see auras crystal clear.
Whoa!
And my dad was like,
"So let's give a definition of that for people who don't understand what auras are."
Right? You want to, or you want Margaret?
Yes, you.
So what I, from what I know of auras or what I would see, it was every human being has like light, all different colors coming from them. Some is dull, some is bright, some is clear, some's broken. But basically it's like this light coming out, and I could see it coming out for people until I guess I trained myself not to, because it's just a lot.
It was too distracting.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
And with the auras, when they came or you can see them, did it help give you information, or can they, I mean, for those who don't understand or think it's like really far out there, right? Mm-hmm. So what purpose can it be if someone can see them?
Well, I think the purpose is you could help someone if you see them.
Right.
The purpose is you could see what they're working on, what's going on with them. Good person, bad person. So I guess you could kind of judge them with and not in a funny, in a helpful way, you know.
Yes. Did you see the auras of the rapist?
No, I didn't. I don't. I would think. No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
I think that if a person is messed up, their aura would be like gray, kind of black, kind of hazy. I think the clearer they are and the like higher elevated or evolved, the brighter. So like a rapist, would have like a dull gray aura,
Mm-hmm. And did you find, when did you switch it off? How old were you when you decided?
I think it was in grammar school, like second grade, third grade, fourth grade. I was like, it wasn't as distinctive, or it didn't stand out as much.
Right. And when that was happening, did you have an experience where you maybe saw authority figures and yet they had, let's say, not as clear aura or pure aura, and it was
not really?
Oh,
no, not really. Mm-mm. No, I mean, I went to a small Catholic school. I don't think they all had pretty good auras. It's a small town, it was small.
Well, the size of the town.
I mean, there still could be bad people, yeah, but no, mostly everyone that I don't really remember encountering anything negative.
Right, so that never disturbed you at all.
Correct.
It was really just shutting it off with good parental advice of how to function in the world without being outcast.
Correct. Yes.
Have you ever had an experience where you were outcast unjustly?
Oh, well, not for that. I mean, I was just always different because I was an only child and I was like super pale. I stood out on the block, that's for sure. And small. I've always been small, super pale, and an only child. So that I would say outcast for sure. But I figured out how to get around by making people laugh. In school and in grammar school, I became popular because I made people laugh. I was a little harsh on the streets, on the mean streets, growing up when I was super young. But then I found my little cliques and whatnot. But yeah, I've been an outcast off and on. Sometimes I feel like an outcast now,
Was it more rural New Jersey?
No, it was Bergenfield. It was a town. It was just that it was small, like in the sense of, now in Los Angeles, there's like 1,000, 100 trillion, million, gazillion people. And my town was just smaller. Like you knew everyone. I knew everyone in my grammar school. When I went to high school, we knew everyone. I knew everyone in the high school. We were all kind of buddies.
So now, having had all these experiences and you've got this inner intuition, more integrated into who you are, what would you say is I'm trying to find the great words to say it, the beauty of it that you enjoy having on a daily basis?
I think having that intuition makes every day fun because I think it makes everything fun and everything enjoyable because I think you can just appreciate human beings for who they are. And I get a lot of enjoyment from animals. And I think animals are very crystal clear. So it just makes life more enjoyable, I think. And you don't take stupid shit. You don't take stupid things to heart. Pettiness, kind of just things don't get to you. I have friends that, oh my God, they will harp on something negative or something, forever. But when you have a different perspective, you see it differently and nothing's really too personal.
Right, that's it. And when you had the awareness of it's not personal, it is pretty much them and you're responsible for your reaction to it. Was it as a result of you having this inner intuition, or was there a triggering event that had that awakening?
No, I think I've always been like that.
And are both your parents like that as well, naturally?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Do you have any cousins that reflect the similar qualities?
Yes, I have a cousin that I'm very close with. He's like a brother. His name's Derek. Yeah, he's pretty much his own person as well.
So you have completely supported through this whole life with these?
I think so, yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. now, if you were to go back and speak to yourself, let's say the falling off the garage and hurting your knee, is there anything you might have or would like to whisper into the ear that might make your passage onwards even smoother?
Yeah, I would say party less, because I like to I think at times things were so clear, I'd be like, oh my God, I just want to take a break from this,
Take a break from the partying?
No, take a break from like seeing everything so clear.
Oh, and so you would party to block it out?
Yeah, to take a break.
Right. And you would maybe, if I'm understanding correctly, give the advice of you don't have to do that to take a break so much.
Yeah, you don't have to smoke all that weed. I love weed. Yeah.
You don't have to do all that substances. There's a way to be able to, Wow, this has been fascinating. Well, we want to thank Sammy and
that was great
for being with us with this cosmic chat. If you want to know more about her, who doesn't at this point, please put it in the comments. She does have her own YouTube channel. All of the links are going to be down there below. And if you'd like to help support the nonprofit, all the description is down there, how you can volunteer or help globally expand, bringing meditation to underrepresented groups in a very practical, down-to-earth manner to help get that fight or flight response. Stop having the adrenals acting up here all the time, because then that becomes a habit. And what then happens is when we go back to the parasympathetic, the relaxation state, that doesn't feel normal. You know, those people who are always trying to create drama?
Yes.
They can't help it because that's normal. That's normal to them.
Yeah.
So thank you again. And please like
Thank
and
you.
subscribe and enjoy us on the next Cosmic Chat.